All right, everybody, let me get to the spot. Whoa, hey, everybody. This is Plan Your Greatness, and I am your gracious host, Carlton Hamilton. You see, I'm dressed a little bit. I'm doing this just because I'm going to be talking to a lot of businesses. Now, I know that when I go into business, I'm going to ask them, how would you like me to dress? If you say I need to have a tie on and, my little college shirt, whatever, and my little specs on, I will do that. But if you tell me I can come in a hoodie or I just come in a t-shirt rocking my Chicago stuff, which you've seen me in all my other videos, I'm going to wear that too. I would be much more comfortable in that. But if they say business casual, I'll give them a little business casual. And that's one of the reasons why I'm getting my little, workout on, doing all my little stuff, insanity, because I want to get back into my I have a wardrobe in the closet that's just waiting for me to lose about another 20 pounds. And that's why I'm grinding. Do a quick weigh-in. I'm at about 236. So I've been, getting myself down there. Now I need to lose about another 25 pounds. And then I'll be able to get in those clothes and then I'll look great in presentations. All right. Got a little sidetrack there. This is volume 2 of the series, How Do You Raise the Bottom 5% of a Company's Sales Force? Or how I call it, How Do You Raise the Dead? And I've learned so many things from my family, from my sports, my depression, my homelessness, prison, college, being a business owner, a professional athlete. All those things have come together, and I'm sharing these things with you. All right, we already talked about number 1, and number 1 was laying the foundation, finding out if you have lions or gazelles. If you have lions in that group, great. They're going to be easily motivated. If you have some gazelles, it's going to take a little bit of work, and if they don't come up after what we do with them, then you're going to have to love them out the door. All right. So once we know that we have lions and gazelles, they need to then ask themselves the 3 questions. That's what volume 2 is about. Volume 2 is about asking yourself the 3 questions. And in one of my old videos, I really break it down. I'm not going to go into super detail here. You'll have to go with one of the other videos. I'm just going to give you the nuts and bolts of what it is when you ask yourself those 3 questions. Okay, first and foremost, you have to ask yourself these questions in this specific order. They don't work out of order. I've learned that over time. So the first question is, what do you want? And that's really saying, make a decision. Decide on what you want. Then once you decide on what you want, give it a deadline. Give it a firm, hard deadline. Because you know what that does? You know what you want. You've created a deadline. That actually motivates you as far as what you're going to do, daily behaviors, daily habits, daily routines. Those things are going to get locked in because you say, okay, this is what I want and I need to have this by the deadline. It's just like when you're going to work out. Hey, I want to lose X amount of pounds in 6 months or a year. Well, you can actually do math on that and say, okay, over 365 days, if I want to lose 30 pounds, then that means I'm going to lose X amount of pounds per day. And that means I need to be working out at this consistent pace that's going to give me this average amount of weight loss and whatever and all. And you can, it's a mathematical equation. So it's easy. All right. Same thing when you decide what you want. Decide what it is, give it a deadline, bam. Now that immediately says these are the things that I need to do. What time you need to get up, what time you need to get to work, how long you need to stay there. All those things are locked in. Because this was a conversation I had with my son. I said, Jamari, if you believe you cannot do something, what is your responsibility from that point forward? He knew the answer right away. He was like, nothing. And I said, that's absolutely right. If you don't think you have the mind, the body, the money, the support, whatever it is that you believe that you're trying to accomplish, and you don't see just it, there's nothing for you to do. Stop. Now, I flipped that question around. I said, so now, if there is something that you want to be, do, have, accomplish, okay, and you really, really want it, what's your responsibility at that point? He said, get busy with some action. I was like, ah. I was like, it's so gratifying when you're talking to a young person and you're really not mentoring them, but even just as a dad, this is almost through osmosis. We have these conversations, and when he gives that feedback, it is so gratifying because I know everything that you hear in your life it's stuck in there. So if you can attach something and get them to give the answer to it, it's priceless. All right, so let's get back on that. We know what we want, decide, deadline, get to some action. All right, number 2 is why. And once you decide why it is, I don't care what your answer is, but what I'm going to ask you, I'm going to say, how does that make you feel to think about why you're doing what you're doing? And I'm going to wait, and I'm going to see what happens. Because you know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for an emotional response. Because if you are deciding that you have a reason why you're doing what you're doing. If it does not move you to tears, if it doesn't move you emotionally, it's not big enough. Find another why. Find something big that moves you. Why? Because you're going to eventually have as an athlete, you're going to have a confrontation. If you're a DB, you're going to have a confrontation with that wide receiver. Flip it around. If you're a wide receiver, you're going to have a confrontation with that DB. If you're a linebacker, you're going to have to challenge a mind game with that quarterback. You're going to have to close a hole with that running back. Flip side, if you're the running back, you're going to have to get through that hole. You're going to come face to face with that linebacker. Okay? Quarterback, you're playing with that linebacker. You see those confrontations, and on the baseball field, I'm a pitcher. I'm going to have a confrontation with that hitter. As a hitter, I'm going to have a confrontation with that pitcher. And you know what's going to happen? As you are walking up and as you are on the mound, or are you planning your defensive stance, or wherever you are on the field, you're going to have a thing in your mind that says, my why is bigger than your why. What did you do? Did you run stairs? Did you do push-ups? Did you bench press? Did you get a good night's sleep? Now, you in your mind, you know I'm locked in. I already have it. And if you on the other side don't have something strong enough, like, I'm doing this for my mom. I'm doing this for my grandma. I'm doing this for my kids. Man, I'm going to be the first one to do blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is, it better be something that just gets you going. Well, you don't even need an alarm clock. If it's game day, you just up. Oh, man, I'm getting after this. If you don't have an emotional response as to why you're doing something, then that other person across, you don't know what that person has gone through. That person could be going through anything. And if his why is bigger than your why, he is going to mop you up. And think about it this way. Because before you get to that confrontation, you know what happens? Think about this question. What do you do when 1,000 people want what you want? You understand what I'm saying? That me playing professional baseball at such a high level, there were millions of people that were participating at Little League, at middle school, at high school, at college. Now we're all at professional baseball. What are you going to do when all those, every level they were dominating. So now they're here and now they're going to challenge you. Okay? What do you do when 1,000 people want what you want? It comes down to this. Your philosophy has to be higher than your feelings, because every day when you are trying to grind, you're going to get up and you're not going to feel like doing it. Your body is going to lie to you. It aches. It's too early. Man, it's too late. I don't want it. Your feelings are going to, if you get into your feelings, you're not going to get anything done. So you have to have it in your mind that why has to be so strong to say, you know what, I will study a little bit longer. I will be out there and make a few more calls. I will push out a little more iron. I will run a few more sprints. I will watch a little bit more film. That's a philosophy of somebody that just goes, man, I can't make any excuses. Okay? So your philosophy has to be higher than your feelings. And then last is your imagination. Your imagination, as far as creating this picture in your mind that is so real in your mind, that you can feel it, you can taste it, you can see the house, the impact that you're going to have on people. You see it every single day. You have to, because I'm telling you, if somebody sets an enormously high goal, there is no way that the laws of the universe just do not work that way. That goal has to be seen in your mind first before it appears in physical form. It doesn't work that way. Never. Oh, I didn't expect this. You expected something. Your expectations of what you got, maybe not exactly, but you expected to win. All right, I'm gonna tell you guys a little story. When I was a junior in high school, and I believe I have told this story before, but I'm sharing it again because it has to do with the 3 questions and imagination. I was a junior in high school, and we were in health education class. A classmate of mine came in the classroom by the name of Mitchell Crennan. Mitchell comes into the classroom and he tells me, man, I just took the ACT test and I got a 33. Now, for all you old heads who know what I'm talking about, the ACT was the college entrance exam before the SAT kind of took over. I think some people still take the ACT, but I think the maximum score is a 36. Mitchell got a 33. And I looked at him because, full disclosure, I got an 11. I wasn't very smart at that time. I should probably go back and take the test just to see what I would score now. But I got an 11. So I'm looking at him, I'm like, dude, what are you bitching and moaning about? He said, you know what, man? He said, I'm going to retake that test because I want to get a perfect score, because I want to be able to go to any school I want to in the country, because I'm going to be a doctor. And me, young, brash, 16-year-old, without even batting an eye, I said, I'm going to be a professional baseball player. We just kind of looked at each other, sat down, went on. This is junior year. Went on with the junior year. I go on to the senior year. I have a great senior year. Scouts start coming into the picture. He's one of, I think there were 4 valedictorians. So Mitchell was one of our 4 valedictorians. He goes on to school. I have no idea where he goes. I go on to college. After 1 year, I get drafted. So I start my professional career. I zoom up the charts. I become the #1 prospect in the Cubs organization. I'm about to be rich. I'm about to do all this other stuff. And then bam, I had surgery on my arm. Then bam, I was going into surgery for my 2nd surgery. So I'm sitting there, Northwestern Memorial Hospital in downtown Chicago. I'm sitting on this gurney and I'm in this gown, completely naked underneath, about to go into surgery. And this was before cell phones. So they're not filming the doctor. They have these recorders. So they're now talking to the recorders, and I hear English, I hear Spanish, I hear Arabic, I hear Chinese, I hear every language you could think of, as all these interns are recording the procedure. Doctors raising my arm, we're going to do this, we're going to go in at this angle, we're going to cut, and all this other stuff. And I just feel like I'm a lab rat, just sitting there like this. And all of a sudden I put my head in my hands, and I look over to my right, and I go, Mitch? And the first thing that came out of his mouth was, he said, so you're a professional baseball player? And I responded back and I said, so you're a doctor? And they were like, you guys know each other? I said, yeah, we went to high school together. We chatted for a little bit. And he said, hey, good luck in surgery. And I said, hey, good luck in your career. Real, true story. Now, what I want to share with you specifically with that is, Mitchell and I got bussed out of a working class neighborhood into this affluent neighborhood where Mitchell lived and where the high school was. Okay, so Mitchell probably, because of the area that he was living in, probably either his mom or dad, maybe an aunt or uncle or grandparent, somebody had some professional executive success, something in that regard, or their family wouldn't be living in that neighborhood. Okay, so he had something that he could look at and say, I see success. You know, if I apply myself, I can do the same thing. Me, on the other hand, there were no executives in our neighborhood. None whatsoever. Everybody was either doing something illegal or they were working very blue collar. So I had nothing to go off of. He had something. But the understanding of the imagination is, it doesn't matter whether you have nothing on that slate or you have something, you know, some pre stuff on there. The bottom line is, both of us created in our mind, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a professional baseball player, and that came to fruition because I know I saw in my mind what it was. I didn't know exactly how I was going to get there, but I saw myself being an athlete, and I'm sure he saw the same thing. So, volume 2, you ask the 3 questions. You want to get your staff to know what it is that they want, why they want it, and you want them to create in their mind a visual picture of what it is that they are going to have in that physical form before it actually comes into reality. And if you do that, or you start helping them shape that, you are now planning your greatness and you're helping them plan their greatness. All right? This is Plan Your Greatness, and I will say this again. Plan your greatness. You know why? Because no one else will. All right? See you in the next video.